You feel about maybe signing you up for about 3 classes this month before, and then after every session, you can kind of tell me how you liked it, what you didn't like about it, and then maybe we can find you a hobby. That way, you have something to be dedicated to.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan.
You'd be open to that. I have a few other things I'd like to touch base with you on before we end our session. How do you feel now that you've been sober for 4 months?
I feel a lot better about it.
Mhm.
Like I said, kind of the same. Sometimes I feel that I'm left out, but at the same time, I definitely feel better. I feel that I'm accomplishing more. I feel I'm not wasting my time, and what I do for fun is definitely more enjoyable.
What percentage would you rate your happiness on 0 to 100, 100 being the most happy ever, before you were sober?
I don't know, maybe 72.
72, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
How would you rate it now?
I would say maybe like 88.
That's a pretty good jump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think it would take for you to reach that 100%?
I'm not sure. I think a lot of factors would go into that.
Such as?
Just things going well at work and
Mhm.
some other stuff, but
Interpersonal relationships,
yeah.
which is something we're working on slowly, surely. That's part of your social skills training that we've been trying to do, kind of figuring out how we're going to interact in an alcohol-based setting, such as a banquet or a client meeting where everyone wants to drink, and you kind of want to stop feeling, shamed when you are around other people who are drinking. So we'll definitely continue working on that in future sessions. How are your 12 steps coming along?
They're coming along good.
They are. Are you still attending regular meetings?
Yeah, I'm at step 4.
Okay. How many meetings are you attending a week?
2 a week.
Do you feel that these meetings help you?
Yeah, I think it helps give a different perspective.
Do you feel that it helps you stay sober?
I think so.
Okay. The last thing I wanted to talk about was your goodbye letter. Last session, I instructed you to write a goodbye letter to your addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Did you write your letter?
I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have to read the letter to me. That was more so for you to get your own feelings out on paper. Sometimes it feels a lot better to release those emotions. Could you highlight a few topics that you talked about, or a few, the most important pieces of your paper?
Yeah, I would say it kind of helped that I just talked about how, that even though, there was ups, there was also downs, that I didn't really have a lot of time for that anymore, and kind of how that was more of, I don't know, not quite childish, thing to do, but definitely something you wouldn't expect, from an adult to kind of waste time like that.
So what was the most important part about saying goodbye to your addiction?
Bringing closure. I think that's good. I think that was a good way to kind of help, establish a timeline, from alcohol and then from without.
I know in our previous sessions we discussed how your father introduced you to alcohol, and he was an alcoholic himself. You used to have a lot of resentment towards your father because of that. Do you feel that now that you're sober, you don't hold as much resentment towards him?
I think so, because I can see how he can get trapped by it just like anyone else can. And it was that led him to do that, and I don't think that's something he would have done.
And although your father is unable to quit drinking, do you still feel guilty about that?
No, I mean, one part of me feels, sad for him, but the other doesn't, because it's still his choice to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you are going through this process very well. You seem very healthy. Your worldview of yourself and others seems very stable and very healthy along the lines of sobriety. So we'll keep changing your goals. Do you think you wanna change any goals?
I like the goals.
You like the goals that we have
Yeah.
set in place? Okay, great. So we'll keep working on that and then I'll see you again next session.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, thank you.
You're welcome.